everyone, welcome back to another Royale High video. And today I have a bit of an interesting and different video for you because this isn't something I normally do, but it's something I want to talk about because I kind of found out about this kind of community within the Royale High community and I thought it was kind of incredible. I think that you have to realize that the Royale High community is just completely massive. And it also exists outside of the Twitter community. There's so many platforms on the internet. And one of the ones that I wanted to sort of deep dive into today and just do a little spotlight on is the fanfiction and writing community. I checked over on a website called Wattpad and there's actually so many Royale High stories. Because I had this thought and I was like, wow, I wonder if Royale High fanfiction actually does exist. And I looked and it's an actual community of people and it's actually quite huge. And some of these stories get quite a lot of views. I saw one that has 14k views on it. And that's huge. And you have to realize that Royale High is a massive game. It has so many billions of visits and people are such a fan of this game, including myself. So of course, there has to be Royale High fanfiction. When people think of fanfiction, usually people don't have a good mindset about it. They don't go into it with open minds and they'll be like, haha, look at this thing that I don't really understand. I want all of you to go over to this website, to Wattpad and to other fanfiction websites and to look at people's work and to appreciate it. And of course I'm going to be doing the family friendly stuff today, of course, always on this channel. I just want to mention that. But my channel is for people over 13 and to go onto these websites like Twitter and fanfiction websites, you have to be over 13. I can't stress that enough. I know this is a different kind of video, but I really wanted to show some appreciation for this community and just take a deep dive. So I hope that you will stick around and watch this video and maybe head over to this website yourself and give some love to these creators. Now that I've got all of that information out of the way, let's actually head over to Wattpad and take a look at some of this stuff. Alright, here we are then, and this is Wattpad and I just searched Royale High stories. And some of these actually aren't stories. Some people actually share lookbooks and outfits, and this one that I was talking about, the one that has 14,000 views, is actually a lookbook. So before we get into a story, let's actually take a look at this lookbook, and you just click on one of these stories and you can read. This person is called Stories by Me Shannon, and this first outfit they have is the Belle of the Ball, and it's Sleeping Beauty outfit, but it's more like Belle from Beauty and the Beast. An original outfit, the OG classic days outfit. So have this one as well called Softie. So let's go take a look at some other different stories on this website. We have another Royale High outfits story. This one has 9.3k, so let's take a look at this one. It's created by Shantae IHA. So definitely come check this one out, and these ones are more modern outfits. So this one is called Tay, and it's the one with a dark fairy, the dark side kind of outfit, and this one's taken in the apartments. So we actually do have some stories now, and we have this one by JenessaNL and a series and more outfits and sort of a Roblox more generic themed one, but we're gonna take a look at this story because we haven't taken a look at a story yet. So this is called Not As It Seems. It's created by JenessaNL. As you can see, it's a full-on story. So we're gonna take a read of the prologue probably, and then you can come and read the rest of the chapters if you're interested, if you want to. I'm gonna read through this prologue and come over to Wattpad and take a look at Janessa's actual story. You can read the rest of the chapters. Okay, without further ado, let's read the prologue to this story. Mother, I have explained to you my reasoning 1,000 times now. Why do you still insist that I go to that school? I was furious at my parents. I was hoping to finally go out into the capital again for the first time in 7 months, since I wasn't allowed to leave the castle for all that time due to tensions between Falmar and the kingdom of Theros, as well as its ally, the Magnos Empire, escalating into a full-scale war. Together our borders and launched attacks of our own on their borders, but never could overthrow the other. Most other kingdoms remained neutral and refused to get mixed into the conflict, which was understandable. This wasn't the first time there was conflict between the four kingdoms. In fact, there had been tension ever since their founding, but never had it escalated into a war of this scale. All of that changed a few days ago when the theocracy of Divinia, the definition of peacemakers and being neutral, abruptly forced a ceasefire. And by forced, I mean calling everyone to a roundtable conference and sitting there until everyone apologised and agreed to fund each other's repairs. With that conflict settled, I was hoping to finally go out into the city again and visit the markets, but no. My parents had to ruin it all by telling me that I would attend Royal High School starting next week. A decision they made without my consent. Royal High was the most prestigious high school out there and most people would kill to attend it, but not me. I didn't feel like going far away from home just to learn about things I could learn about here too. Laura, my dear daughter, I am aware of where you stand on this, but our decision is final. You attend Royal High so you can learn how to govern a country. You will need that knowledge eventually, once Falmar is yours. Can't I just go to court with you and father and learn it that way? I am afraid that alone will not be enough knowledge to suffice for a future queen, my father spoke, walking into my room. Royal High will learn you a lot of things and you would not learn here, like socializing. Oh great, that again. Sorry father, but I can't socialize if you keep me locked inside this castle. You might even meet the love of your life there. Your father and I met there too. Oh no, if they were bringing that up, then they weren't going to ever budge. Looks like I had no choice. Fine, just no love stories, please. And so, a few days later, I was already sitting in our royal carriage, heading towards Royal High. Next to me was my suitcase with everything I need. Alongside things like clothes, I'd made sure to bring my diary as well as enough paper to write letters to my parents for at least half a year. I let out a sigh when I saw the towers approach in the distance. This place would be my home for a while to come. Slowly, more of the castle started to reveal itself, and it became clear why it was the most prestigious school ever. I wondered what my classmates would be like and if I'd get along with anyone. Thankfully, this place hadn't been damaged by the recent war at all, unlike Orion, which had to repair multiple border cities from the ground up. Divinia probably interfered because it had always valued Royal High very highly, considering it was owned and run by Divinia. And with a war going on, nobody would attend, prestigious or not. Still, even with the war over, there was a lot that needed repairing, and there wasn't just cities and villages, but relations too. That is, if nobody wanted another war to break out, when I finally arrived, I stood in awe. Looking at the castle, it was still hard to believe that this was a school. Even more unbelievable was the fact that it was right next to Earth, the most technologically advanced place on the continent. I'd read many books about the many cafes and luxurious apartments. It was also where most students from Royal High went in their free time. At the very least, it was worth checking out later. I stepped out of the carriage and took my luggage with me. "Your name, please?" one of the guards asked when I approached the front gate. "Laura von Falmar." He looked at his list and saw my name. "You may pass." I walked past the guards, through the front gate, and was greeted by a huge entrance hall. But before I could look around for longer than 10 seconds, I was approached by someone. "Well, well, if it isn't Laura," a familiar voice said behind me, which made me turn around. "It is a pleasure to see you as well, Glenn. Glenn is the Prince of Orion, and I've known him since I was a child." But he wasn't alone. Next to him was a black-haired man, and I'd never seen him before. Still as formal as ever, eh? Anyways, this is Felix. He's a nobleman from House Gaspard, and a good friend of mine. "A pleasure to meet you, Felix." "Nice to meet you too, Laura. Glenn already told me all about you when he heard you were going here too." I glared at Glenn, who quickly looked the other way. "Is that so? No matter. I must seek my dorm now. See you late. You have dorm 10. "And how did you come to possess such knowledge?" "I already checked the list to see where all the girls today. You know, important information." I rolled my eyes. "Thank you. I must be off then. See you." The day Glenn would become at least somewhat formal would probably be the same day pigs started to fly. I walked up the stairs with my luggage behind me, and when I reached dorm 10, I felt nervous. Who knew what could be behind that door? What if my roommates wouldn't like me? That would be horrible. Then again, I didn't have much of a choice. I sighed and opened the door. I was greeted by a completely empty dorm. Nobody was there yet. It seemed like I was early, which was only good for me, since then I could have the first pick for my room. After I'd seen all of them, I settled on a moderately sized room. Didn't exactly scream perfect, but that wasn't why I chose it. I chose it because the balcony looked over the castle gardens, which would be the perfect background for reading a book on the balcony, if I would ever have the time for that. Oh sorry, I didn't see that this room was already taken, I suddenly heard behind me. I turned around and saw a girl who looked around my age looking at my luggage. She had black hair which had been put into a beautiful braids and she had brown eyes. Indeed, I arrived here quite early. Might I ask your name? I'm Astrid and I'm the Princess of Divinia, and you are? Divinia, huh? The people from there were always known to be friendly, so its princess could surely not be a bad person. Princess Laura, I hail from the kingdom of Falmar. Well, nice to meet you, Laura. I'm one of your roommates, so I hope we'll get along. I'm going to take the room next to this one. See you later. Astrid left my room as quietly as she entered it and heard the door of the room that would be hers closed. And I heard another door open, the door that went outside our dorms. Oh, it looks like we're late. It's that Glenn's fault for blocking the list for so long. I peeked through my door opening and saw two girls standing in the room. One of them had short blonde hair and brown eyes, while the other had long black hair and blue eyes. Lizzie! It looks like we've already been spotted, the blonde-haired girl said, pointing at me, since I had gone out of my room and walked towards them. Hello there, you must be the other roommates. My name is Laura and I'm the Princess of Falmar. It's a pleasure to meet you. The black-haired girl seemed shocked by my name. Falmar? Why me? What torture? Come on. Anna, we're going to my room, she said, and they both went into one of the two available rooms. What was that all about? I saw Astrid walk up towards me. Do you know who they are? I shook my head. The one with the black hair is Elizabeth, but I believe her nickname is Lizzie. She's the Princess of Theros. The blonde-haired girl is Anna, and she's the Imperial Princess of Magnos. I've heard that they're really close friends as well as distant relatives. Well, that mostly certainly explains the peculiar response to my name. Laura, why do you still talk so formally? We're at a school, not a court. It is a princess's duty to always speak formally and respectfully. That's not, you know what, since our lessons start tomorrow. How about we explore the school grounds together? Astrid didn't even wait for an answer before dragging me out of my dorms and into the rest of the school. As we toured the school, Royal High once again showed just what it was so prestigious. There was a spa, a ballroom, a library, and even a bakery. The hallways were grand and contained huge windows that looked out over the swimming pool. And the waterfall that came from the bakery, it was a magical place. We were on our way to the bakery when we once again encountered Felix and Glenn. Oh hey Laura, who's your new friend? Glenn asked, looking at Astrid with his, hello, you seem interesting face. This is Astrid, she's the Princess of Divinia. Astrid, this is Glenn, Prince of Orion, and Felix, a nobleman of Orion. Nice to meet you guys, Astrid said, smiling brightly. The pleasure's fully mine, Astrid. Glenn answered, winking at her. Felix was looking outside and I followed his gaze. Near the pool, there was a man talking to Elizabeth. Colours of his clothes seemed to suggest he was from Theros. But what was he doing here? It looked a bit suspicious. Although, if Elizabeth's amount of luggage was anything to go by, she probably forgot something and had one of her servants bring it. So you see, Glenn, the one problem we're having right now is that Laura is acting way too formal, Astrid explained. I looked up, surprised that Astrid was bringing that up now. She's always been like that, but now might be the best time to change that. Glenn laughed. That little piece of... Yeah, how about we make that today's goal? Laura, by tonight you'll wish you never learned any formal speech. I let out a sigh. Gods be with me on this fateful day, because whatever was in store for me, it couldn't be good. Just what kind of mess have I gotten myself into? And that was the prologue by Jenessa. And I only read the prologue. I'm not going to read like all of the chapters because, you know, I don't have time. And also you need to come over to this page and read the story for yourselves. And I hope that you will leave a good rating and maybe a comment for Jenessa and give them a follow, of course. The link for this story will be in the description of the video, so please go check it out and give some support to the creator. But I do hope you enjoyed this video. A lot of this video was not like things I have created myself, but it's always good to share community creations sometimes. I feel like fanfiction deserves better credit than it gets, and a lot of people have like put really hard work into the stories they've created. So please go over to the Wattpad website, take a look at some of these stories for yourself. Like I said at the start of the video, you need to be 13. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to the channel. We are on the road to 50,000 subscribers. We just reached 47,000, so it would be incredible if we could reach 50,000 soon. And of course, I have my own Twitter as well, and that is at itslimey, and I post update stuff on there to do with Royale High, and also I post random things in my life and anything I want to talk about. And I also have my own Roblox group, and we're on the road to 1,000 members over there, and that is called the Key Lime Pie. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.